Who is the best team in the NFC East? Well, it's not the New York Giants. We all know that. I actually like what the Giants are doing. I think they are headed in a good direction. They had a good draft. They invested in their offensive and defensive line. They have a coach I like, Brian Dable. But New York, I almost said New Orleans. New York is a huge question mark at the quarterback position. Is Daniel Jones the guy? I think it's very possible. Tyrod Taylor could play quarterback for them a lot next year. I don't know what to expect. Also, they're thin at corner. The Giants have new leadership, and they're rebuilding. They are not the best team out east. So scratch the Giants off. They're not the best team in this division. Then you have Washington, Dallas, and Philly. I think the AFC West is the most interesting, crazy division in football. Kansas City, Denver, Vegas, LA. It's going to be a bloodbath. Then right behind them, I think the NFC East is going to be really intense and really, really interesting. Because, so Washington, for example. Washington has a new quarterback, Carson Wentz. He's really talented, but he needs to prove himself. He's got two stud receivers to throw to, Terry McLaurin and Jahan Dotson. They also have a better running game than people realized. Last year, the whole strategy in Washington was play good defense, control the ball. They've got a good tight end, Logan Thomas. They run the ball well. I think they're going to throw the ball better than last year. And the Washington Commanders have a pretty good defense. So I compare Washington's defense to a baseball pitcher, where a good pitcher can have a great game, but they still need run support. If the team you're playing for isn't hitting the ball well and scoring runs, you can have a great game and still lose pitching. Their offense was bad last year in Washington. Their defense put out some good performances, and they just couldn't score enough points to help their defense out. It made things harder for the defense and made them look bad. But if Carson Wentz is a stud and plays the way I think he's capable of, then Washington is going to be pretty good. And by the way, Carson Wentz gets to play his old team, Philadelphia, 2 times next year. And that's a cool opportunity for him to get revenge on them for getting rid of him and trading him away to Indy. So I'm excited for Washington. Now, Dallas. The Dallas Cowboys are really good. They won the division last year. I think most people will assume that Dallas is the best team in this division. I can't tell. Am I biased because I don't like them? Am I biased because, well, it's really hard to win that division 2 years in a row? It basically never happens. Dallas is good, though. They've got a quarterback. Dak Prescott is really awesome. An offensive line that impressed me last year. They traded away Amari Cooper to Cleveland. They can't pay everyone. It's the problem with Dallas's roster, the way they're built. They just got too many big, expensive names. But they still have CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup at receiver. They've got 2 stud linebackers, Leighton Vander Esch, and then a star linebacker, Micah Parsons, who was a rookie last year. One big question mark, I've got 2. This one's a bit cheap. The next one's a real concern. The cheap question mark is kind of I'm not sure. Trevon Diggs is their young corner who had a breakout year last year. He led the NFL in interceptions, had 11. So on paper, Trevon Diggs looks incredible, but he got beat a ton last year. He's kind of a liability, actually, in the passing game. Weirdly enough, it's weird to say that, but he gets beat constantly. I wonder, is Trevon Diggs going to become a better, more complete corner this fall? Or is he just going to remain a guy who's very risky, who takes a lot of chances, gets interceptions, but gives up a lot of big completions as well? Now, here's the actual big concerning thing in Dallas. I don't trust their head coach, Mike McCarthy. I don't trust him with in-game decision-making. I don't trust him. I think he's kind of a lame duck. I'm not that impressed by him. And I think Mike McCarthy is a limiting factor in Dallas. I honestly do. Now, the Philadelphia Eagles, if you ask me, I think Philly is the best team in the NFC East. First of all, their offensive line played outstanding last year. They gave up 31 sacks, and here's context. They've got a quarterback, Jalen Hurts, who likes to hold onto the football for a long time and run around. To only give up 31 sacks says a lot about their football team. Like, the offensive line in Philly was way better than anybody's talking about from last year. Hey, their defensive line is terrible. They probably have 2 starting. Their backup defensive line could be starting on another football team. It's incredible. They made their secondary better by adding James Bradbury from New York. I love Philly's coach, Nick Sirianni. He really, really impressed me and gained my respect last fall. He led Philly to the playoffs. I thought he was creative with the offense and built things well around Jalen Hurts. I mean, frankly, Philly's even better than they were last fall. I think Jalen Hurts, their quarterback, is going to make progress and get even better from last year. They run the ball well. I like receiver Devontae Smith. They also traded for stud receiver A.J. Brown. It's going to be really close between Washington and Dallas and Philadelphia. I think it's neck and neck, but today, Philly is the best team out east, and I think Philly is the team to beat in the NFC East this fall in 2022.